Well, hello everyone. Welcome to another Wisdom Well Wednesday. Today we are doing Healing the Rose Line, Transforming Our Maternal Legacy. So what does that mean? It's simply, we're going to be talking today about how all lineage is sacred and magical. Your most sacred and magical, especially if you're a woman, is your maternal line. It's your mother, it's her mother before her mother before her, and then you having a daughter and her having a daughter and so on like that. So we're going to talk about how it's so healing to connect with it, how you can help your ancestors with it. It's just going to be a really good episode, so I'm looking forward to sharing with you.
Do you have a deep connection to the women who came before you? Do you want to connect more to them? Understand their joys and struggles that echo through your own life? Join me as we explore and honor our rose line, the divine feminine lineage of our maternal ancestors, and uncover how healing this line can not only transform our own life, but also heal ancestral wounds and make space for more beauty in the lives of our future generations.
Yesterday would have been my mum's birthday, so I thought, what a good day to do this Roseline episode. So this is kind of for my mum, and also because it's obviously connected to a Roseline. So let's talk about what a roseline is. You may have heard about it before, but you know it by a different name. Go with whatever word or name that you want to call it. Even if you make it up yourself, even if it's just a word that means something to your female line. But I call it the rose line. That's what I learned. That is how I refer to it. So I'm going to be talking about it as the rose line today. You just translate it to whatever you want to call it. As I just said before, it is the maternal line, it is the female line. Obviously, if you're a man, then it's your mum's line, but it kind of stops with you. You have a sister, it continues with her, right? So this is what we're talking about today. All lineage is very, very important, and it's great to learn about your lineage on all of the branches. But today we're just going to talk about this one because this one is very, very magical one, and it's really, really good for healing. The idea is that when a woman is pregnant, she has obviously the baby in her, but then if it's a female child, it has its eggs already there. So as a grandparent, you have your grandchildren in you, right? Like if you're going to be a grandparent, you have your grandchildren already in you if you have a female child. So this already, on both a very spiritual and on a scientific idea, is a very, very interesting thing. So a mother is very connected to her child, and they say that there's like an invisible thread connecting children with their mothers, right? So especially up to the age of 7, there is this like umbilical cord that still connects the two. It's very, very good. And that's where you get like this mother's intuition from and things like that. You get like a sense when your child is upset or scared or something, but they're at school or they're at a friend's house or something. Stuff like that. It's kind of like women's intuition kind of stuff. So that's that. Um, so imagine the rose line like a thread that or roses, like a beautiful rose bush that's just connecting all the women in your line, going all the way back to the beginning, and it will continue going forward every woman in your family going onwards. So as you can probably already see, there is this sort of great bond, both physically and spiritually, with a mother with her female child, especially, and then that female child with her female child, and going on like that. So whether or not you get on with your mother or you get on with your daughter, there's still a different kind of connection that binds you. So I'm not saying that you have to like the females in your line, but I'm just saying that it's a very, very important line. It's very, very good for healing traumas as well, because children, male or female children, will get things passed down, like generational traumas and things passed down, right, from father and mother. But of course, being with the mother for so long in the womb and things, there's a lot of that coming down into the child. So the child can then do a lot of work, or as an adult, do a lot of work to heal that lineage, especially through the mother line, because there is that stronger connection through that invisible line. This can also help as well. Say there's always the same kind of problem with the women in your family. Maybe they are very, very timid and quiet, or maybe the opposite. Maybe they are always thought of as too loud, too boisterous, too know-it-all, or too confident or something. And there's always the same reaction from the public or something to the way that you are, and that begins to create some kind of block or stigma within your women's line. And so again, you might not know why you are blocked in a certain way, or you might not know why you have certain health issues or ideas about things. And this is possibly because your great-great-grandmother had something happen that was either so traumatic or so she felt so emotionally charged by it that she held on to it within her body and within her soul, and then that carried on down the line. It can get very, very interesting. So there are many ways that you can work with this. You can very much go to, well, let's go on to that then. So there's many ways that you can work with and heal your maternal line. First off, because I'm an Akashic Records practitioner, we're going to talk about that. The Akashic Records, very briefly, being this energetic library that holds everything that you've ever done and ever could do for your soul. However, you can also look into ancestor work up there as well. So you might even be able to talk to an ancestor. So you could go up and you could say, I want to delve into my rose line, or whatever it is that you want to call it, my maternal legacy. I want to talk about my maternal line. And they can help you with whatever traumas or blocks or healing that needs to be done within that. Or let's not go with all the negative. Let's also think about maybe you had beautiful healers in your family line, or you had, again, maybe very, very confident women, or you had certain skills. Maybe they were really good at a musical instrument, or they were really good at baking or something, but for some reason you can't quite access that maternal gift. So you can actually do something like that within your records to access and call in those gifts back into that maternal line. So yes, it can get really, really interesting. But then also you can heal the line. I've had a lot of clients, especially of late, that have been healing their ancestry in general. So dad's line, mum's line, on both of their parents' line or whatever it is. But the maternal one, it is kind of, it's not stronger, but there's sort of more glue to it. There's more of a bond there, for better or worse. There's more of a strength or a holding on to certain things. So there's been some fascinating ones where there's been like we've been showing like an umbilical cord kind of thing connecting all the women in the line and going all the way back and all the way to like her granddaughter, and it was like black and gunky and oozing, and it wasn't very nice looking, and it was because of a female ancestor going back, and we just went back, we healed that, and just that all became just like pink and just nice color, like a natural color of the umbilical, right? And so literally she healed all of that. And then that trickled down to her daughter and then trickled down to her granddaughter. And we even spoke to the granddaughter's soul while we're in the records. And she was super pleased that grandma had done this healing for the family so that she didn't have to do that part anymore. Anyway, that gets a bit weird and out there. But then if you're watching this, then you're probably a little bit weird and out there yourself. So that's a little bit there with Akashic Records. There are various different rituals and ceremonies. And when I say rituals and ceremonies, I mean, you could, but you don't need to wear like a big witch's hat and have a cauldron and chant at the moon and dance naked under it or whatever. If you want to, go for it. Divine feminine, do it. But you don't need to do that. You can just do something like prepare a meal that was a staple in your family, like it was literally a recipe that came down the female line, right? Or just sort of have the pictures of the female relatives, or just do something where you just kind of connect with them. You just sort of say hi and thank you for all that you did, and I'm hoping to heal anything that is a problem with an line. And you can do very, very natural stuff. You could wear jewelry that are from them. For example, like I wear my mother's rings and my grandmother's rings, her mother's ring, right? So I wear them all the time. This is my connection to my rose line, right? So you could do little things like that, or you could do this big grand ritual thing on what would have been birthdays or anniversaries or Halloween, because that's Samhain and it's the veil thin. Whatever you want to do, you can just do as big and as out there as you want, or as quiet and within, and just more sacred to you. Whatever you feel comfortable with. Definitely make it individual to you and to the women in your line though. Journaling and meditation, yeah, go and take a little look at the journaling episode if you didn't catch that and you don't really know what journaling is. But yeah, you can just literally do some journaling about accessing or what needs to be healed within your maternal line. You could also do things like exploring stories. If you remember any stories from your mom, your grandmother, even great grandmother, if you were lucky enough to have her around, write down those stories. If they're still around, go ask them for some stories. And what might seem so normal and whatever to them would be maybe something really special for you, a really lovely memory for you, or a really nice way of connecting back through the lines, especially if they're remembering their grandparents or something, like your grandmother is remembering her grandparents. You can really connect to the real person that they were, right? You obviously can do family tree stuff. That's always really, really interesting, I think, especially when photos come into that, because then you can really see the family connection in yourself, in other family members. And it's a nice way of reaching out and seeing who they were, how they lived. That's the other thing. If you're looking at census and stuff like that, then they have their job or their family and you where they lived. Even maybe it's somewhere local to you, but you didn't realize the street down the road was where your great 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 grandmother lived, right? And you can, or the shop that she worked in or something, right? Like you can go and walk the same steps that that ancestor took. And for me, I find that magical. Each to their own. There's something called womb work. I don't facilitate anything like this, but if you're interested and you don't know where to start, I have a couple of people that I could push you off into that direction with. So womb work is a lot of meditations and connections with your womb, with that kind of area. And when you connect with that, it's all about divine feminine and goddess work and things like that. When I say divine feminine, it doesn't necessarily mean to be meek and submissive and soft. It can be that, obviously, but it could be that powerful goddess, that, you know, almost vengeful goddess, or, you know, that raw goddess as well. So whichever one you're trying to manifest or connect to, you could do that and go down your mother line and then her mother, and really like connect to the power within your own family tree. Like, what were the women in your family like? Were they very soft and nurturing and stuff? Is that where you get it from? Or could that be some lessons that you could take on because you tend to be more in your masculine and you want to explore more of the softness of the feminine? Or were these women very, very powerful? They knew what they wanted to do and they went out and got it. And maybe you struggle with confidence. Maybe you struggle talking to strangers or something, and you need to incorporate some of that confidence from your maternal line into your own self. We can get into some really cool stuff, and yeah, can't really do it in these videos, but if you ever want to talk to me, come talk to me. Like, I'm quite happy for you to come on a discovery call and we can chat about any of these things that I talk about. um Talking about divine feminine though, so some people, they like to just go within and connect with their own feminine self, or they connect with their maternal line. You can also call in goddesses or female beings. You can call in ascended masters that are female or very feminine. Um, Things like the goddess Isis or Mary Magdalene. Any of these kind of women that you want to embody and call in and ask to help you connect to the women of your lineage. Um, they're always going to show up for you. All of these beings will show up for you and will help you rediscover that feminine energy, because especially now I find that because we've got so much masculine in the world, which is not a bad thing, but it is in excess, right? Same thing as if it was excessive feminine, right? So it has to be a polarity, right? So we need to bring the feminine up a bit more to meet the masculine so that we can have that yin yang and that polarity and that light and dark, and all of that can just work so much better together when we have them at equal levels. Already kind of covered this, but storytelling. If you can find someone that can tell you stories about the women in your line, or someone somewhere wrote their memoirs or something, like, go find these things. Or if they were perhaps someone famous or quite well known and there's documentation on them and their lives, like, go connect with these people, even if they're not very nice people or they're not people that you would associate with. Finding out where you came from and then consciously deciding to change the way that you present that. So if you had someone that was a criminal in your lineage, just don't hide from that. Like, find out what that was, find out, you know, all of this stuff, and then kind of own it a little bit. Like, take that as that's part of your family and that's part of you, what created you. And are you going to learn from their mistakes? Are you going to transform the family name from that into something good? Are you going to help that energy disperse? If it was, you know, something bad, like, can you help disperse that energy with these things? Okay, hope that helped you get a little bit of an interest in discovering your own rose line and just connecting with that feminine energy and that connection. If you want to let me know, please do contact me or put something in the comments. I would love to hear what you discovered or have discovered in the past about anything of this. Also, please let me know if there's any videos that you would like me to do in the future. A couple of you are reaching out now, and I thank you so much, because now I've got a lot of more ideas of things that you guys actually want me to talk about. Next week we're continuing our chakra series. We're doing episode 9. Now, we've completed all of the 7 major chakras, which is what most people know. We are now going to move on to introduction to the 12 chakra system. And this one, we're just going to take the 7 that we've already got. We're going to talk about how you can incorporate a few more to create the 12 chakra system. Going to be a good one. Please do tune in if you're following that. If you're not, there is a whole playlist just for the chakra system, so please go check that out. Please do like, subscribe, follow, or notify, share, whatever it is with the YouTube channel. Yes, please do come join and listen to me waffle on about things that I am very passionate about, and I hope helps spark something in you. Some knowledge is gained from listening to me prattle on and on about the things that I enjoy. So thank you everyone for listening, and I will see you next week for the chakras. Bye.
From the wisdom well, keep shining, continue learning, and stay curious. Until next Wednesday.